Hi, I'm Gary.
I'm John.
And this is Two Bros Doing Shows, your wrestling podcast. Now, this Sunday is going to be No Mercy
at
Sacramento. And if they didn't say that enough during Smackdown, Sacramento. Say it with me one more time. Sacramento.
Okay, wait. First, before we go on, I have to tell you guys, we now have a Facebook, which is Two Bros Doing Shows, Twitter at Two Bros Doing Shows, spelled with the number 2, because Twitter is retarded sometimes. And obviously here on Facebook and on YouTube, Two Bros Doing Shows. So now that we got that out of the way, and sorry, almost forgot. Email, which is twobros.doing-shows@yahoo.com. All those links will be in the info box. So, questions, and we both have answers. So, first one. With the win over Becky Lynch, will Alexa Bliss be able to win the women's title, or was that just pure luck because Carmella super kicked her in the freaking face, and that which allowed Alexa Bliss to get off Twisted Bliss,
which looks a lot like the move from Neville, but no, I'm not trying to be a hater, but
God, cut the hate.
Yeah, I got your haters. But
so, what do you think? Do you think that Alexa Bliss is gonna be able to beat Becky Lynch?
I don't know, because this women's division right now on SmackDown is so mixed and matched with talent that's been there a couple years, new NXT talent, and then you've got Nikki Bella, who's been there for God knows how long. I think it's coming close to about 7-8 years now.
He's been around for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you have a lot of different talent that, is on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Do I think Alexa Bliss is going to win it at No Mercy? I'm going to say no, just because Becky Lynch just got that title and just won that title and officially made a women's SmackDown champion. If Alexa Bliss does win it, I would be highly surprised. And, but who knows? Harley Quinn does some crazy shit. So.
True. For that matter, though, another question I have is, do you think that Carmella would interfere?
No, because Nikki Bella has been the target of her hatred, not so much everybody else. Like, the fact that she was even in that match, or involved with that match, was because she was trying to beat up Nikki Bella. It started out being Carmella versus Alexa Bliss. Nikki Bella versus Alexa Bliss. And then she threw Alexa Bliss into Nikki Bella, which is what started that whole chain of events that turned it into a tag match. So, no, I don't think that Carmella's going to come out and make any kind of save for Alexa Bliss. Not feeling that one.
Alright, next one. So, with this skit with Bray Wyatt being tricked by Randy Orton to go into looked to be a shipping container. And him escaping due to Abigail. Do you think that Bray Wyatt will wind up strong against Orton this weekend?
That's a good question. they have not booked him very strong in the last few months. It has been lose, lose, lose.
Yeah, but think about it. A lot of that's been because of Orton, too.
Well, yes and no. I mean, he lost against New Day. I mean, he was losing even before.
True, yeah.
This whole thing started with the draft. And he really hasn't been booked very solid since last year's Survivor Series. So he's gone through a hell of a year with lots of losses. I mean, if you ask me, I would like him to start this year off with winning and go from there, at least from now through until maybe next Thanksgiving. Let him win, because Orton doesn't need it. Orton's has 12 titles under him. Bray doesn't have anything. I mean, Bray right now is just living off the pops from the fans. And silly little gimmick speeches that he practices probably 40 times a day. But, this isn't going to last forever, where people are going to find his gimmick believable unless he starts to win.
Yeah, I agree. I think the whole thing with, Abigail showing herself, well, not really showing herself, but bringing Bray Wyatt out of that container or whatever the hell it was.
Well, it was a store.
It was a warehouse kind of thing.
It was a storage container.
Yeah, it was storage. And so, also, another thing to think about, though, is, will we actually see Sister Abigail?
No. That's one of those auspicious things that...
You don't think we can see a female wrestler coming in as Sister Abigail?
Probably not, especially with Paige being on the bench for a year. But
well, what does Paige have to do?
Oh, come on. A creepy ass woman that they need to play a creepy ass role. End of discussion on that one. But honestly, unless they had already had someone in mind, I have big doubts about that one. As far as Bray, getting back to Bray's booking, though, he has to win in Sacramento. He has to do it.
Yeah.
In Sacramento. Say it with me again. In Sacramento. Because, it at this point, I think people are a little tired of the whole, I'm the eater of worlds, but yet I can't win a goddamn match. It is really lame. I mean, lame.
It's getting to the point where, honestly, if they book Bray Wyatt and he lost, they might as well not even have him on SmackDown.
Yeah, just put him on Superstars and let him lose to every other jobber that's on there, because that's what you're making him out to be, is a jobber. So, how about you put him with the rest of the job squad,
Let's just hope that once this whole thing with Randy Orton comes through, that we'll actually see him, be a strong heel again instead of just...
I think they're trying to get him to be a strong heel now, but if he doesn't beat Randy Orton, then it's a pointless endeavor.
Well, let's just hope that's going to be the case.
Although, just lastly, I have to say that Orton's mic skills and his skills outside of the ring, especially with this feud, have been extremely good, and I have to give Orton a lot of credit for that, considering that 4 or 5 years ago it was, hi, I'm Randy Orton,
yeah,
I'm a tough guy.
It
you
actually-
should be afraid of me. You know. And then he'd give somebody an RKO. Now he's got some expression, and he's really, I think, finding his own finally as far as his mic skills. So
Yeah, they just need to do the same now with Baron Corbin.
yeah, good luck with that one. Next.
Okay, so do you think that the Usos are going to be Heath Slater and Rhino?
Yeah, Beauty and the Man Beast.
Oh God, can they just call them something else, please? Because that just sounds dark. I mean, no, seriously, that sounds like
It sounds a little pornographic.
yeah, just a little bit.
But I'm not even gonna get into that because that's like, you know, watch a different podcast if you want to get into that. Yeah, this is they're definitely pushing the Usos, and they're definitely trying to get them to be heels. So
Well, they're definitely doing a damn good job.
especially with how much they've picked on American Alpha.
I know. Always picking on the new guys. Having to be newbie crushers.
Yeah, newbie crushers indeed. But I'll be honest. I'm hesitant to say yes, but I'm also a little worried about saying no. They won't become, because I think I've said it in a different podcast that, you know, Rhino is up for election in November. So do they let them ride with that title and see what happens, or do they just take it off of them and then see what happens, and then possibly give them a shot down the line? I don't know. What direction do you think they'll take? Cause
Okay, so this is my guess, and that is that if Rhino does end up winning, they'll give the titles to Usos, and then it'll be Usos versus American Alpha. It might end up being that way anyways, because I don't see Heath Slater and Rhino. Like, even though they're two pretty good wrestlers, I have a feeling that this is more of a way to bring up Heath Slater as a legitimate competitor than as a tag team kind of person. Because, I mean, he's okay, but, I mean, like, there's only so much Rhino can do to lift a guy up.
to think that Heath Slater's even going to make it to Miz level is a little bit ridiculous.
Well, he is at mid-level right now, though, with Rhino.
No, I said Miz's level.
Oh, Miz's level.
Like,
my bad.
he'll never be an IC champ, and God, he ain't gonna be a WWE champ. That card is off the table at this point, in my opinion. Like, I think Heath Slater has great mic skills, but his ring skills need a little bit of work. So, and that's why Rhino is in there with them. I know that Rhino has said on Talking Smack that winning the tag team title specifically was what was important to him. So, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. I honestly, I wouldn't be upset with the Usos winning the titles, because they're one of the better tag teams they have on Smackdown. It would be interesting to see a heel Usos team carry the titles, but at the same time, it would also be more interesting to see what would happen if they could continue to push Rhino and Slater. I mean, would the tag team basically collapse upon itself, or is this, diamond in the rough? Because we've seen a lot of super glued tag teams before end up becoming really big things.
Yeah, let's do not forget the Rock and Sock Connection.
Or Team Hell No. So.
Alright, next. So, will the Spirit Squad interfere in the match at No Mercy between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz? For those that didn't see, the Spirit Squad came out while Miz was giving his documentary. God, I hate him saying that.
Yes, the documentary, which should also be alluded to as the final Dolphletion.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. So anyways, the Spirit Squad came out after the documentary was shown, and first they seemed to be cheering on Dolph, and then when Dolph wanted to, and then they said that, oh, if you're going up against Miz, you'll be in the unemployment line. And so Dolph got really pissed off, confronted the Miz, and then the Spirit Squad started kicking the crap out of him. Of course, that didn't last long when he super kicked both of them. One from that flew off the top
rope. Yeah, I didn't see whether he kicked him in the chest or in the chin, but that looked like it really hurt.
Tried to super kick the Miz, but Miz escaped last second unscathed.
Just like the Miz chicken that he is, you know.
So, what do you think? Do you think that the Miz is going to beat Dolph Ziggler? I mean, is this really the last time we'll see Dolph Ziggler in a ring?
They're starting to make it seem that way, which is kind of, you know, depressing because I like Dolph Ziggler a lot. And his career, especially the latter half of it, has been incredible.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed if he lost and then, you know, it was a loser leaves town type of scenario. I'd also wouldn't be surprised either if all this build-up was to take our mind off of the fact that they were just going to pass the belt on to Dolph. Now, they don't have a great mid-card on Smackdown. They really don't. Like, they're just now starting to build it up with guys like Baron Corbin and Jack Swagger and Kurt Hawkins and the sharks that swim away from Kurt Hawkins.
That beach themselves.
That beach themselves. Kurt Hawkins. And the guy that can win a game of Connect 4 in 3 moves. Yeah, but... You know, their mid-card's pretty weak. And if they get rid of Dolph or Dolph leaves...
They're getting rid of one of the best workers.
Well, that would be if he was fired, but even if he left, that would really hurt them at mid-card on SmackDown, especially with the way things are now. You would almost have to bring up more talent from NXT, which NXT can kind of ill afford at this point in time because they're pretty much sacked for talent. So, honestly, I don't think he's going to lose that match.
Okay. So, I think that... I don't think he's going to lose. I honestly think that Dolph Ziggler will end up winning the title because they're doing so much to try and make Dolph Ziggler look like a loser, and look like he's done nothing with his career but be made a fool of.
Yeah, hence the little video trailer we saw when Miz brought him out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, to put that much effort into making someone look bad, and even having other superstars, I'm sure some of those were edited at least.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't forgotten about it, but I hadn't thought about the time where he got, the Money in the Bank cashed in on him, and he had the World Heavyweight title taken away from him by Edge. So,
yeah, and it's just, I mean, honestly, I can only think that he's gonna win because of the fact that they're trying to make him look really weak right now, and then he'll win, and it'll be some super special, awesome event for him, and who knows, maybe he'll hold it longer than, 10 seconds?
right. Well, nobody has Money in the Bank at this point, so.
True. So, I mean, who knows what'll happen. Alright, so will Cena be victorious and get his 16th title run?
Excuse me. If it was up to me, hell no. We have seen so much Cena, and AJ Styles made a very good point. He doesn't even belong in the same conversation as Ric Flair. Because the work that Ric Flair had to do to be the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion is nothing compared to the work that Cena had to do to get to that level. Do you know why Cena even has 15 world titles? It's because in a 10-year period, they felt that, well, The Rock's gone, Stone Cold is too injured to wrestle, so we need to make a new face. And so let's make it John Cena. And then we spoon feed him title shot after title shot after title shot, until he's a big thing. And we were force-fed Cena for like 8 years.
More than that.
Well, 8 years of his 11-year run, yeah, we were. I mean, the last 2 years were not so bad. And then his first year, he was the rapper of Thugonomics.
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
And so, I honestly, I hope not. I'm really hoping AJ Styles wins because I know that for a fact that Dean Ambrose is going to be taping a movie for WWE Studios after this, so he's going to be taking some time out of the ring. So I know it's not going to be Dean Ambrose. If it is, it's probably going to be one of those things that, like The Miz, where he was both Intercontinental Champion and filming a movie, and probably filming it very friggin' quickly, especially if you're the WWE Champion. But honestly, I don't. As much as I really want Dean Ambrose to win, and I do want Dean to win. I mean, that is my pick out of the three of them. But if Dean obviously is not going to win, then AJ is the only other pick. And so, I mean, I'm rooting for AJ, but the realistic expectation is for Cena to win that title because they've talked so much about that and records. Like, they're going to have New Day beat Demolition's record. They're going to have Miz probably break some kind of record with the Intercontinental title because they continuously bring up how many days he has it. I mean, records lately have been something that they've been wanting to break, and it's very odd because the first time they pulled this was with CM Punk when he held the title for like over a year, and the WWE title, and you know, they're doing that a lot more over the last 12 months. So I have a feeling that Cena's gonna win. Cena, I mean, God help us all in Sacramento, because John Cena will get his 16th title reign, more than likely.
Sacrilege in Sacramento.
Yes, sacrilege. Because any wrestling fan knows he don't deserve it right now, because he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, but they did the same. They did the same thing to The Rock and Austin. Whenever some big name comes back, they always get a title shot. Doesn't matter how long they've been out.
Well, and it bothers me too, because Dean Ambrose made a good point on Smackdown. He works so hard and gets recognized for just about none of it. It took him 7 tries, if I'm not mistaken, to get the WWE title, and that was only because he had a Money in the Bank. So I mean, with the way the writers are doing this in the back, I mean, I like the Money in the Bank angle, but you didn't need to force it to 7 times to make him the champ.
Well, let's face it. If what happened with Roman Reigns hadn't happened, it would be Roman Reigns fighting for that title and not Dean Ambrose.
Well, Roman Reigns.
Well, actually, he's on Raw.
He's on Raw.
But still, I mean...
it was at Battleground that whole thing was decided.
Well, exactly.
So, Roman and Seth both had a shot, as did Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was the one that won, and the following night was the draft. Mm-hmm. Or the following Tuesday, was the draft.
That also brings in the question, though. I mean... No. Let me see if I can phrase this right. Because of the fact that Roman Reigns got in trouble and had to forfeit, not forfeit, but basically not win the title. Do you think that if he had won, that Cena wouldn't be going after that title a 16th time? I mean, was all this because of the fact because Dean Ambrose won it at Smackdown?
Well, it sounds like you're asking, did Dean Ambrose win to take it to SmackDown so Cena could win it a 16th time? In that sense, I don't know. I mean, Vince is a very strategical thinker. He tends to think ahead anywhere from 6 to 12 months. Basically, WrestleMania to WrestleMania is the way their year works. Obviously, I think they had that vision of the Universal title being on Raw well before the draft. I think they were wanting another title, at least in that sense, for Raw. So, but I think if Cena had won the Universal title, I don't think Cena cares. I think Cena is trying to chase records now with what he has left of his career. As far as the Universal title, we'll see, you know. But all of that really depends on how many drafts they're going to have, if they're going to do any more drafts, and so on and so forth. But I think that if Cena does win this, it is going to be because the company is gifting it to him yet again. So I don't think it has anything to do with the effort that he's put into the company. It's probably going to be a way of them saying, "Ooh, watch, Total Bellas on television." Nobody cares. And that's the thing. If you're self-promotion or shameless self-promotion like that is not what we watch wrestling for. We don't.
Yeah.
If you really earn it, then fine. But in the scheme of things, Cena's had a great year. I mean, his time as U.S. champ was great. It was upsetting when he got injured and had to give all that up. And then he got injured, in between then and the draft. So I don't even think he was there for the draft. So
what do you think of him, though, being blasted as a heel? Basically having everybody hear that John Cena is this, like, prima donna that, greases palms backstage and
well, that was
spins, does a political spin job, like Dean Ambrose was saying, to make Dean Ambrose look weak and John Cena look strong, even though it was Cena that cost him that title.
Well, actually, the person that cost him that title is AJ Styles by kicking him in the crotch. But to be blunt, I think there are a lot of people backstage that don't like Cena, and they don't like. And there have been many people going all the way back to Punk that have said Cena's nothing but an ass kisser. And I think calling him, a hand grease, saying that he greases people's palms to get where he's at, it's yet another wrestler that's talking trash about Cena and backstage politics. So it does not surprise me that that's come up, because I think that Dean Ambrose is the kind of guy that is there to do things not so much on his own terms, but to earn it. He wants to earn it on his own, and he wants to win it on his own. He doesn't want to kiss ass. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to sit there and ride off somebody's coattails. He is there to, kick ass and take names, and I can respect that, and I think that if the writing and the booking is good for him, that's great. In terms of where AJ Styles falls in this whole thing, I like AJ Styles. I guess it wouldn't. I wouldn't keel over and die like I would if John Cena became the champ. I guess I wouldn't mind if AJ kept the championship, because then, you get a feud of him and possibly Cena, or him and somebody else. But at this point, it has definitely come down to Sunday, and if on Sunday he doesn't win, then since this is a triple threat, there's no champion's advantage, so there's no rematch.
True. So if Cena doesn't win this time,
he's not getting another shot.
Well, at least not right away.
Right, and it's the same with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably a grand way of taking it off, or keeping Dean out of the picture for a while. But are you taking it off of AJ, or are you are you keeping it on him? That's my question.
Right. Next one. So, after the Authors of Pain beat the Bollywood Boys, how far do you think they'll go?
I don't know, because they pretty much crushed them. I mean, when they said the weight of each team, I mean, the Bollywood Boys were a little over 300 pounds. The Authors of Pain are a little over 600 pounds. So you have essentially half a team fighting a team.
You have basically what amounts to two big shows sitting on one spot.
Yeah. And that is literally what it pretty much came out to. I mean, I liked the Bollywood boys and their moxie when they came out and they were dancing and you know, it was funny. And I like the fact that a lot of these guys are getting time on NXT, these cruiserweights, because they're getting a chance to practice and fine tune their craft.
Yeah, a lot of them are pulling double duty even.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. But yeah, Authors of Pain, I think they're gonna go far. I don't know how far. I am not gonna make any super predictions yet, but they're definitely one of the teams I see going to the Final Four.
Yeah, anytime I see them like go up against a team, they sort of remind me of the Road Warriors, to be honest.
Oh yeah, well, what do you look at who their manager is?
Yeah, and so
Sorry.
And so, but because of it, it's like these guys, they know how to use their strength, they know how to throw it around. It's not surprising at all that they beat the Bollywood boys, although I'm starting to see that they are really booking them to be weaker than like everybody. And if I remember correctly, they both lost their first match in CWC, right?
Oh, the Bollywood boys? Yeah, they were eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like, I see.
I think as far as those two are concerned, they're paying their dues.
Yeah, and that might be it too. I mean, we'll see, but you know, I think also the pain will go far, at least up until maybe it'll end up going up against. Oh God, who was that one team that also had like really big dudes in it? I can't remember all the names right now, but you know, there were a lot of big teams, literally big teams in that, so it should be fun to see if any of the little guys can, you know, pull through.
Yeah, the Revival also had a match on Wednesday, and they won, not without a hitch, but they won. And you know, now we're looking at next week with Glorious 10 going up against Sanity.
I'm telling you, they're gonna lose. Because they're not gonna bring in a new tag team just to have them lose.
You never know. I mean, these type of things where they're bringing in new wrestlers, and I mean, it depends on the kind of hype they want.
Well, we'll see what their gimmick is. I mean, considering they're called Sanity, it might like put Glorious 10 in a sort of awkward position of not knowing how to wrestle them, and then they'll, you know, maybe they'll end up getting defeated.
You know, I mean, again, you don't really know there, especially with NXT, but yeah, this year's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is looking to be much better than last year's, because last year's was pretty obvious who it was going to come down to. This year, no idea.
A lot of new teams this year.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Alright, so next one. How many people will Samoa Joe beat until Shinsuke Nakamura comes back?
Well, there was that piece of paper that said he'd be out, quote unquote, 6 to 12 weeks. Now, he has been beating people up, I believe, for the last 3. Now, I don't think they're going to let this go on for 12 weeks. No, I'm sorry, Samoa Joe. You're not going to get to just walk out randomly and beat the shit out of people for 12 weeks. Yeah. I think that when they get closer to NXT Canada, which is sometime in November, I don't know the official date, but it's going to be then that stops. I would say we're talking to maybe 3 more weeks tops, and then either Regal will come out and be like, "Hey, listen, Samoa Joe, I'm not going to let you do that. You have to come and have tea and crumpets."
Dude.
And he's like, he'll probably break out the brass knuckles and just knock him out if he at some point.
Well, maybe. They might end up putting it, if Shinsuke Nakamura is really going to be out that long, then who knows? They might put him up against someone that's...
This whole thing about Shinsuke being out, I mean, it's like kayfabe, right? He's not really injured.
Yeah, so then he's going to end up coming back sometime when Joe least suspects it,
and then
just in case draw again.
Exactly. So, like I said, I would say another 3 weeks tops. And then you're going to see Shinsuke come out while he's beating the crap out of another innocent victim. And then, it's going to be on. So, and that'll lead into probably the last 1 or 2 weeks right before the next NXT show. The next takeover. So, this should be a very interesting couple of weeks for NXT.
Joe's gonna kill them all.
Say that again?
I said Joe's gonna kill them all.
Yeah, you would think. So, Joe and Asuka, considering Asuka is just like, no one can defeat Asuka. Yeah, it's been over a year, and Asuka's pretty much defeated everyone because she's undefeated. So, there's no pretty much about it. She has defeated everyone, including Bayley and Nia Jax. And, I mean, the list is unbelievably long. So,
this has been a podcast of Two Bros with Shows. And remember, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we have an email for you to contact us. If you have any questions or any comments, please let us know.
Anything good, anything bad, we don't care, because good criticism or bad criticism helps us how to know where to direct our show. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them there. So.
And one last thing.
Top guys out.